Hello, everyone. I am so excited for this episode of Plug into Devin. We've got Misty Frost with us. She's the CEO of Caris, a healthcare training company in Utah County, and we're just excited about the great work that she and her company are doing. She's got some great insights for us, so stick around. Misty, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, we're thrilled that you would join us. What do you want to talk about today?
Well, I would love to talk about the actual rising need for healthcare workers, particularly in today's environment.
Yeah, tell us how the impact of the coronavirus pandemic is impacting healthcare workers.
Oh, well, it's huge. And I'm sure everyone's seeing this on the news. And there's absolutely a shortage in clinical workers, which we all know. But what gets covered less, or maybe is less well understood, is that all the support staff around those clinicians is also being impacted. So people are seeing shortfalls in particularly client-facing or patient-facing roles like medical assistant or even pharmacy technicians, as we already knew there was going to be a shortage of people going into healthcare, and we knew the jobs were going to rise, but now we see that happening almost real time with the pandemic, and hospital systems are desperately trying to hire as fast as they possibly can.
And how does Caris help?
Well, Caris has been training in healthcare in non-clinical positions for about 27 years now. Typically, our programs are designed to get people into the workforce in a year or less. I'm personally extremely passionate about making sure that the people we train are trained to be hired. I don't think most people wake up when they're little and go, you know what I really want to be? A phlebotomist. I mean, I just don't think that's what little kids think about. But it's a very practical, very needed, very critical role. And there are so many of those that as we're watching unemployment rise and we're seeing people struggle to figure out what's next for them, I think that for a significant portion of people who are looking to do meaningful work, this can be a great solution.
Yeah. You've got lots of online training options now. Are some of those such that you can be ready to work in less than a year?
Absolutely. A lot of it has to do with your ability to move through the course, right? So we typically say a year because life for most people kind of gets in the way, right? Most of the people who take those courses are adults. They often have children. They have things that happen to them. So it takes somewhere about a year for most people to finish. I think our fastest completer did it in 4 months. On the medical assistant program, but that's a little unusual. It's a little more typically 8 to 9.
Okay. Well, how are you seeing healthcare workers that you interact with respond to this crisis? It must be almost overwhelming.
Absolutely. Obviously, here locally, it's not quite as overwhelming as we're concerned that it would be. There's a lot of conversation right now about redeploying to other areas and other states, and how do we balance the providers across the need. So there's a lot of concern today, and obviously a lot of concern about making sure that we keep people safe while they're helping care for others.
Yeah, it is, a critically important thing. So how long have you been at Caris now as CEO?
I've actually been here just under 2 years.
And what are the initiatives that you've launched during your tenure?
Well, primarily, we're very, very focused on expanding what we offer in terms of courses. There are so many jobs in healthcare, and with the technology changing the way we think about healthcare, there are going to only be more jobs. So it's our mission to make sure that we teach as much as we possibly can. The other thing we're really, really focused on is making sure that we do everything we can to close that placement gap. Make sure that we have the right relationships with employers, that our training is customized to make sure that employers can and employees benefit from that matchup.
What do you think will change about healthcare education permanently as a result of the pandemic?
Well, I can't really speak for the clinical side, but I can tell you that on the support or the staff side, what we're seeing is a greater need for two things. We need more speed, but we need speed where we're making sure that we cover the important things because patient outcomes are at stake. And what we're really also seeing is a need to enhance that training with things like soft skills, how to deal with patients. Historically, that's all been very much seen as on the job kind of training, but with the speed that we're needing to get people into jobs, that's something that we're looking to embed in our own training to shorten that gap.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting. Well, Misty, I really appreciate you taking the time to come be on the show. This is really such an important topic. Before you go, I just want to ask one last question, and that is, what is your superpower?
Well, I think it's probably right now trying to balance work and my kids. But I think there are many people who are trying to deal with that right now.
Yeah. That is a rapidly developing superpower. So
it really
congratulations. You're on being ahead of the curve. So good work. Well, Misty, before you go, tell people how they can learn more about Caris.
Absolutely. If they are interested in doing training, carislearn.com or our client-facing portal, which is careerstep.com.
Fantastic. Well, Misty, thank you very much for being with us. We wish you every success in your efforts to educate more healthcare workers.
Thank you, Devin.
All righty. Let's do some good.
I'm Devin Thorpe. For the last 8 years, I've been working full-time to eradicate extreme poverty, improve global health, and fight climate change. I've concluded that the best way for me to continue my work is to run for Congress to represent the people of Utah's 3rd District. In Utah, we have common shared values. Those things unite us. I believe passionately in our ability to come together, and I believe that working together, we can solve Utah's problems. I'm Devin Thorpe. I'm a Democrat. I'm running to represent the people of Utah's 3rd District.
I'm Devin Thorpe, a candidate for Congress, and I approve this message.